Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
So, hello everyone. Welcome. Sorry, I'm starting later than I normally would because I had to go to like 4 places this morning. So, and then had to get back, pretty much get myself ready. I didn't even have time to have lunch. So basically just handled some stuff and just jumped online to do the solo stream. So this might go a little bit faster than I normally do, because normally I try to do an hour, but we'll see. We will see. So the topics for this this little pop culture discussion, I'm not going to go into entirely what James Gunn said, but there was an article on Bounding into Comics that should give people pause if they know anything about comics, and that is Tom King is going to be one of the chief architects for James Gunn's Slate moving forward. Anybody who knows anything about Tom King, then like the Slate is pretty much dead on arrival. Actually, dead before arrival, pretty much. So Tom King is going to be one of the chief architects. Then you have DC introducing the new trans hero, and they have to make it all about the fact that this hero is trans, Circuit Breaker. So, like, you're gonna love this hero, pretty much. Again, as a comic book fan, it should not matter if the character is straight, gay, white, black, male, female. And it shouldn't matter if they're, I hate dropping this fucking term, cis or trans. Pretty much. Should not fucking matter. Should not matter. But they're patting themselves on the back, pandering. So we're going to go into that article, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of what Sarah Michelle Gellar recently said, because she's been in Hollywood a little too long. She's been drinking the Kool-Aid, a little too much. And yeah, I don't acknowledge it as a real term either, Trey. I'm just saying, like, in terms of like, the terms that are dropped in comparison, those would be the comparisons pretty much, or the contrast. And it's just, it should not fucking matter. It should not really fucking matter, is pretty much my point. And what I love about these articles is that they're all on Bounding into Comics. So I'm able to just jump from one to the other, essentially. But from the top, I see Trey. Hello. Yes, this is my Rumble. This will be, well, this won't be mirrored. I got to connect this account over to Rumble. So once I kind of start building it up a bit more, then I'm going to mirror this on Rumble as well, connect this account. So I see Brightest Day, hello. Gravy D, what's up? Stunning and Brave Megatron, what's up? Sultan Al Fahim, hello, good to see you. It's not posters changed. 2 of my posters fell down, pretty much. So he's gonna have to stay triggered until I can get those like posters back up, pretty much. This is my Twitch, which I'll be on not long after this stream. Like I said, this stream might be on a little bit of the shorter side because I'm starting later than I wanted to, because I had to run to like 4 places this morning. So, yeesh. More like Tom Queen. Yeah. Get ready for mommy issues, Batman. Like, yeah. Single-handedly destroyed mainstay DC characters, pretty much. Boset, hello. Good to see you. And he made Hal Jordan not understand what willpower is for some reason. And he's going to be one of the chief architects. He's going to be one of the chief architects for DC Slate. So anybody still thinking that Gunn is going to save DC, I got a bridge to sell you. I have a bridge to sell you. Hey, Soul Assassin, what's up? So basically that's going to be the segue to the first topic. We'll talk about Tom King being the chief architect for the DC Slate, because, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Again, I say to people who think that DC is going to be saved, I got a bridge to sell you. Because look at this. Tom King. James Gunn's DCU Slate. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. I personally believe the DC universe, in terms of like the movies and moving forward, is dead. DC is pretty much a dead company. That's pretty much what their letters stand for, dead company. they are hanging on by a wing and a prayer at this point. Not everything needs to be a universe. Even superhero movies, even comic book movies, not everything needs to be a fucking universe. Not everything needs to connect. We don't need to connect movies to games to books or anything like that. We don't need to. It doesn't need to be a span of movies. Marvel's pretty much doing it at this point because they have no fucking creativity whatsoever. They might as well just continue the MCU movies. They have no creativity whatsoever. They're just doing it because it's pretty much run-of-the-mill at this point. The MCU died at the end of Phase 3. Actually, I think it started dying before Phase 3, but that's just my opinion. It died at the end of Phase 3. Not everything needs to be an expanded universe within DC films or even Marvel films. Not everything has to connect. I'm also going to say is I don't want another fucking Batman origin story. I don't want another fucking Superman origin story. Because let's be real. Let's be real. Well, yes, we're not exactly going to see Clark Kent grow up on the farm. Him starting out as a cub reporter. All right, for the Daily Planet. Early stages working with Lois Lane. It's pretty much a fucking origin story. It pretty much is. So stop it. These characters have had runs beyond that of which seeing Batman's parents die, seeing Clark Kent become work for the Daily Planet and become Superman. We've seen all that shit before. And I'm just naming 2 examples off the bat, pretty much. We have not seen a Red Sun Superman in a film, right? We have not seen Thomas Wayne Batman versus Martha Wayne Joker. There's shit that's been done. But they want to go back to this. One of the chief architects in destroying DC, in destroying Detective Comics. And now he's going to be one of the chief architects for the DCU. Lex Luthor probably the villain, yeah, because they want to pick villains and even normies would know, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but at the same time, it's like Superman's had more than Lex Luthor as a villain, Batman has had more than Joker as a villain. I like to see people's rarity for films, yes. Died in Infinity War, yeah. Red Hood, yeah. I prefer everything connected in one cohesive storyline, one origin story for each character, and for woke tards to be gay kept out of the industry. Tell them to learn to code and build their own Tumblr. I will agree for the most part. But like I said, not everything needs to be connected. Not everything needs to be a universe. Batman 89 and Batman Returns. Only 2 fucking movies. Only 2 movies. Works. We really didn't need to see anything beyond that. I'm not saying that people won't like it if it happens, but I'm saying we don't need it. We don't really need it. And we have multiple characters that have yet to shine in their own films that DC and Marvel refuse to fucking use for some reason. Because they want to always fall back on the big ones that people know. They always want to fall back on the big ones that people know. Right? We have not seen a good iteration of Black Canary. I'd like to see that. Zatanna. I'd like to see that. Green Lantern, fuck yeah, I'd like to see that. We have not had a good Flash. I'd like to see that. Martian Manhunter, would like to see that. Hawkman, love to see that. Got fucking wasted in the Black Adam movie. Hell, Dr. Fate was the biggest atrocity in that fucking movie, what they did to his character. I'd love to see in a Dr. Fate film. But are we going to get that? No. We got to get Superman origin story yet again. Have you seen the fan anime trailer? No, I've not seen that. They're diluting the big 3. Yeah, they're kind of like beating the dead horse of the big 3 because they always want to fall back on that. Hell, yeah, they could do Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. They're not doing that. I can't fathom these people. But anyway, let's just go right into this article. So, DC Studios CEO James Gunn recently released his plans for the future of the DCEU, I keep saying DCEU because that's what it was, DCU, and revealed that DC writer Tom King was one of the chief architects behind the Slate. Okay, not going to watch it. It was meh. While detailing an upcoming Supergirl-focused film titled Supergirl Wonder of Tomorrow, I fear it'll be like how they portrayed Supergirl in the show. That's what my fear would be. This is based on Tom King and Bilquis Evely's wonderful comic. Yeah, Tom King, a destroyer of IPs. Tom My internet! Cut the fuck out! Oh my god! It did that right before I went live, too. It just went, nope, I'm not gonna fucking do this anymore. Anyway, let's just share the fucking screen again. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God, I hate my internet. Yep, refresh, we're back. Alright? Now, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was going to say, bounding into comics, hire me as an editor, because apparently your editors don't want to do their jobs. What the fuck is others? I might have to just reboot it after this stream. It might be just touchy right now. So I might have to reboot it. And then hopefully it works for the Twitch stream. Hey, Rogue's backstory, Chinese balloon is to blame. Yeah, blame Mazza. We'll blame Mazza. Hey, gaming. Playing Fortnite for a bit? Yeah. Trying to stop me. To be something very unique. Dead Before Arrival. DCU, Dead Before Arrival with Tom King involved. Hey, lovely Sherry. I can't handle the retardation of this article. This description by Gunn concerning King's work should concern fans of DC, given King's track record at DC wasn't slightly turning the characters, but was completely butchering them and turning them into self-reflections of himself. Gunn provides the example himself, explaining what the new Supergirl film will be about. In our story, we have Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by incredibly loving parents. Kara was on Krypton. She was on a piece of Krypton that drifted away from the planet, and she lived there for the first 14 years of her life in a horrible situation where she watched everyone around her die. So she's much harsher and more fucked up Supergirl than you've been used to thus far. You liking that so far, Megatron? Thank you. Even though she also landed on Earth. Yeah. She also landed on Earth. They just didn't know about it. I'm talking about Kal-El and Kara-El. Did not know about it. But she's going to be harsher and more fucked up Supergirl. Basically, Super Karen. They're basically turning her into a fucking Super Karen. Yeah, and I'm saying, but they were on Earth together. Yeah, I'm saying, look, this is why people who are thinking James Gunn is still going to save the DCU It's dead before Arrival. If this is what we're going to be seeing as far as the Supergirl goes, it's dead before Arrival. You that in the 90s and mid 2000s. A Supergirl movie? Yes. It did not go over well. It wasn't exactly, I wouldn't say it was panned, but it wasn't exactly loved either. But they did, but now they're bringing Supergirl back. Yeah, he'll be privileged. She won't. That's the thing. That'll be the difference. He had loving parents. He had privilege. She didn't. Anyone who knows Supergirl knows this is not a description of Supergirl or her origin story. This isn't the only example. King has an entire assassination list of DC characters he's wrecked so much so that he was pulled off of Batman. Yes, he destroyed Superman, right? And he destroyed Batman. The two big ones that DC is going to fall back on, he destroyed. Good job. In one instance, Ethan Van Sciver lampooned King for his depiction of Batman as a scared child needing to be consoled by Gotham Girl. He wrote on Twitter, "I think I'm going to throw up. Hey, mentally ill writers, not every character you're writing is you. Stop projecting your own personal neuroses onto characters you didn't create who already have enough of their own established problems." Yeah, Batman, who's pretty much been psychologically damaged since the death of his parents. Yeah, he already has mental issues. It's literally joked about in the films. Man dressed as a bat. Pretty much. It's literally joked about, morbidly so, but joked about in the films. He has his own mental issues. He doesn't need any more. Yeah, they are. That's what they're going with, yeah. More fucked up Supergirl. Yeah, Tom King's mom issues to destroy, yeah. Show up 2 Krypton dads, yeah. Catwoman destroyed her too. Yeah, I'm saying he is the destroyer of DC characters, and you pick him to be one of the chief architects for this. You know what? Also, like the wind's really picking up. That might be also the reason why my internet's going like this, because I can hear it outside. All right, and he writes "bat pussy." So there it is. There's the panel. As another example, King decided to not only tear apart Guy Gardner's character, but he also had him brutally killed in his The Human Target miniseries. King turned Guy Gardner into an obsessive, jealous ex-lover of Ice. After attempting to abuse her, Ice freezes Gardner, and then the Human Target proceeds to punch him in the face, killing Gardner by shattering him into numerous pieces. There you go. Yep, that'll be it. Anyone on Twitter who still thinks that James Gunn is going to save the DCU, I got multiple bridges I can sell you, because if you're that fucking stupid, knowing this, DC is not saved. DC is not saved. Yep, but Guardians, Mara, yeah. We need more creators like Denny O'Neil, who saw himself as a caretaker of these characters and always listens to fan feedback, versus now everyone too self-absorbed. Yeah, they're too self-absorbed, and they're very, very narcissistic, which is basically they're putting themselves in place of these characters and so we're not seeing the characters themselves. We're seeing the author in place of the characters. So it's like they're living their own warped fantasies through these characters at the same time, butchering them for their own, again, narcissistic purposes. Because God forbid you have a strong male role model in, like, say, Superman. God forbid you have a strong male role model, one that you could look up to. Because you can't have that nowadays. You can't have that because he's a straight white male, and that's the unholy trinity in entertainment industry. You can't have that anymore. So you can't look up to him. And these are the same people like Tom King telling me that I can't look up to him simply because I'm a woman and I need to look up to those of my own sex. So they're literally being sexist by telling me I can't look up to male role models because I'm a female, and therefore I can only relate to other female characters. I'm just saying. Yeah, but Guardians of the Galaxy was a success. That was like a flash in the pan luck. for James Gunn. Plus, those characters worked for that type of humor. It's not going to work for DC. It's not going to work for DC. DC is darker than Marvel, and I'm fine with that. That's why I love DC more than Marvel, even though I love Marvel too. I'm fine with that. I prefer darker stories. Not fucked up stories, darker stories. Not everything has to end happily. Not every story has to have a "and they lived happily ever after" scenario. Maybe, I don't know, but if he's bringing Tom King on it, then there's no chance. I don't see any chance. Yeah, I'm saying, like, the artists they hire nowadays, I can draw better. The story didn't just destroy Gardner's character and kill him, but it goes on to imply that both the human target and Ice have sex after they killed Gardner. To make matters worse, not only does King come with extensive baggage when it comes to bad storytelling and narratives, he also comes with morally reprehensible behavior, something Gunn claims he would have to take into account if it came to his attention. This is ironic coming from Gunn, who made pedo jokes on Twitter. Now, I'm not saying he can't make those jokes. I'm not saying that people can't feel the way they do about him making those jokes. But very, very hypocritical of Gunn when he's talking about morally reprehensible behavior and the shit he's done and said on Twitter. I'm just saying. Yeah. And it didn't work. Because the Suicide Squad, they're not anti-heroes. They are villains. They're villains. They're not anti-heroes. Gunn specifically told the Hollywood Reporter, "I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something that I don't agree with. At the same token, if someone is doing something that is morally reprehensible, that's a different story, and we have to take that into account." It's unclear if Gunn knows about King's morally reprehensible behavior, but King went out of his way to attack then DC artist Jay Lee, I should say, because he happened to create a variant cover for Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog series. I remember that. Yeah. King wrote, "Today DC put out an alternate cover to Rorschach by Jay Lee, who has also done covers for Comicsgate, a hate group. DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment." You fucking snitched on him. That's what you fucking did, Tom King. You were a fucking snitch and a half. As far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach #1, which is boring as fuck. So I gotta respond to something. Yeah, he snitched. That's what he did. He snitched. But he did it. Express my deep disappointment out of concern. While DC did indeed reveal Lee's cover on July 24th, the fact that he was doing a variant cover for Rorschach #1 had been previously announced on July 15th. King's tweet showed that he has a penchant for lying and went out of his way to try and cancel Jay Lee for his own false assumptions about him and showed those of Comicsgate. His actions were and are clearly morally reprehensible. This isn't the only case of King being embroiled in scandal. He claimed back in August 2021 that he got a guest removed from AwesomeCon because they were not wearing a mask. Love seeing people at cons, but yesterday we had a Rorschach cosplayer who took his mask off at our table. You think I swear a lot in comics, you should see me in person. After an impolite talking to, Rorschach was escorted from the con, King added. Wear your mask, we're not fucking around. Have people seen Rorschach cosplayers? The guy probably couldn't breathe at that point. Yeah, and he's talking through a mask, so he's going to want to maybe remove it so you can understand what he's saying. That's what he did. He got someone kicked out of a con. Because he pulled his mask off so he could talk to the people. And that's it. And this is in 2021. So this is like and the pandemic happened in 2020. All right? Pandemic pretty much happened in 2020. This is like a year after all that shit went down. More than a year after all that shit went down. And he was still doing this shit. But anyway, like we're not going to go into all this, but Gunn's not. I don't think he's saving the DC. I don't think he's saving DC, and he's definitely not saving DC by including Tom King. He was destroyed characters. Yep. Yeah, what a shit. Yeah, in 2021, we knew masks didn't work. Yeah, I can't live with them. Damn sure I could live without them. Yeah, pretty much. Is an independent artist. He's not binded by contract with DC. He probably made more money off Cyberfrog whatever DC paid him. Yeah, I'm saying like he is a freelance artist. He's like freelance. He's an independent artist. So if he's going to go where the commission is, pretty much. So if he's getting paid by DC to do a cover, he'll do a cover for DC. Same with Cyberfrog. He was commissioned to do a cover for Cyberfrog. He did it. He's an artist. That's his job. And the fact that he's doing that is telling, and he's like going like DC to Cyberfrog, which is like, you know, basically comic skates, says that he's not putting politics above his work. Like his work comes first. So for all we know, he could share some of the same politics as Tom King, but he's not putting them at the forefront of his job. That's what, like, you know, people should aspire to in terms of, like, you know, work ethics. But they don't. They want to put their own politics ahead of everything. And Tom King, the biggest fucking bitch of them all, or one of the biggest bitches of them all, has the audacity to claim any moral higher ground in this case. Yeah. Still went after him. Still fucking went after him. But there it is. So now that, like, since we're on DC, we'll save the Sarah Michelle Gellar stuff for last. Let's just get introduced, ladies and gentlemen, to the new trans hero from DC called Circuit Breaker. We might as well, right? Might as well. Because heaven knows they're going to make sure that we don't hear the end of it. And you know, God knows they're going to make sure to call us every name under the book if we so much as criticize this character, because he is a trans man. DC editor says trans man hero Circuit Breaker is going to be your new favorite character after debut in Lazarus Planet Dark Fate issue number 1. You know they're getting the playbook out, so if anybody criticizes this character, if anybody says anything critical about this character, they're transphobic. This is literally built-in ism defense. And when I say ism defense, I mean like in quotes, ism defense. Where there really is no defense. It's basically just pure projection. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Is that Nightwing? Well, it looks like a gay version of Nightwing, put it that way. Yep. Famous last words for She-Hulk. You will like her. Yes. Gibbons, you will like Circuit Breaker. You will like Circuit Breaker or you are transphobic. I have no idea. But let's just find out about this character. I know Alpha Mo. I know you're it's automatically given when it comes to Wokies, pretty much. Yeah. But we're gonna love him after the first issue, so. DC believes a new superhero with powers the opposite of the Flash, who's debuting on Valentine's Day, is going to be a hit. This character named Circuit Breaker is a trans man hero coming to us from the creative team behind the upcoming Lazarus Planet Dark Fate issue 1, which is headlined by queer sci-fi writer and artist A.L. Kaplan. God damn, the artistry is just shit nowadays. Where do they find these people? I'm tired. Hey, Stig, I'm tired. Like, oh no. Anyways, yes. Yeah, so if you try and push you away, yeah, pretty much. Sir Cockbreaker, yes. He provided a tease for Breaker, whose true identity, most importantly to DC editorial, is the trans. Okay, how are you trans and also non-binary? Because when you're trans, you go from male to female or female to male, which means that's a binary dynamic. So how are you both trans and non-binary? How is she trans? How is this character trans and non-binary? You're in a punny mood. Pretty much, Gibbons. Yeah, Tumblr artist, yep. Jules Jourdain, and whose pronouns are he, they. Yeah, because we all need to know that shit. Meet Jules Jourdain. He, they, aka Circuit Breaker, Kaplan tweeted. Can a new hero channel the inexorable still force energy to fend off evil? Debuting in DC's Lazarus Planet Dark Fate issue 1 out on Valentine's Day. Okay, I don't know much about physics, but isn't it kind of like a oxymoron to have still force? What exactly is still force? I'm just saying it's like, sounds like an oxymoron, but there it is. No, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, to start collecting old comic books and drawing DC. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Thought it sounded cool. I'm just... You read that correctly. Circuit Breaker channels the Still Force, a creation of Scott Snyder's that exists as a type of dark energy that, in contrast to the Speed Force that powers of Barry Allen and other speedsters. Okay? However, that is secondary to Jourdain's gender identity, as Kaplan confirms, yeah, trans man, but not super into the binary. He tweeted, adding a trans flag. Again, if you're trans, you go from male to female or female to male. That is binary. 2. Like, you don't go from female to attack helicopter or male to lawnmower. I'd have to look it up. DC editor Andrea Shea responded to Kaplan's post and artwork with further hype for Jourdain's debut. Circuit Breaker is gonna be your new favorite character. Kaplan breathes life into Jules Jourdain's first adventure this February, in which our new hero is blessed or cursed with the dreaded Still Force during Lazarus Planet Dark Fate. Shea tweeted, "Don't miss his debut, 2/14." So, saying Circuit Breaker is going to be your new favorite character indicates Shea believes in this character, and why not, when she, as it turns out, is proudly part of creating, working with that ALK Comics, as he developed this amazing new character, and we planned the road ahead, has been a non-stop joyride, she tweeted. Now, I'll have so much more to say about it soon, but the DCU is so lucky for the brilliance and care and love that Alan built into Jules' story and world. And James Gunn is helming the DCU for the films, and he's bringing in Tom King, and we have this shit now. Well, I believe you did, Megatron, but humans can't. So 0 degree energy is what... Okay. All right. New threats will rise when the Lazarus storm touches down. People from every walk of life stand to be affected. People who are kind, people who are good, and people who are evil. Reads the synopsis. This epic issue will spotlight the disastrous new villains created by the Lazarus event and the heroes who stand ready to stop them from doing harm. Right. Well, there you are, folks. You will love Circuit Breaker. And they make sure to emphasize the fact that Circuit Breaker is a trans man. Well, there you go. See, that's the thing. When you include something like non-binary into the equation, that removes the bisexual element in the LGBT community. Because bi implies two. That there are two sexes that you are attracted to. But they're getting shoved out of the way for non-binaries and pansexuals and shit like that. Well, EVS is also not human, pretty much. He's also not human. So us mere mortals, we go from male to female or female to male. Pretty much. Yeah, plug stuff. Very creative, yes. It just makes sense, okay, Mara? Yeah, it just makes sense. But there it is, folks. There it is, folks. That is why DC stands for Dead Company, because they're putting politics ahead of just good storytelling, good characters, and so forth. I wouldn't have fucking cared about any of this if they hadn't made a big deal about it. They just introduced the character and it just happened to be that this character was trans, and that was it, just happened to be. Fine. We'd be fine with it as long as the character is good. Remove the pronoun shit. That's fucking stupid. But as long as the character is good, we don't care. Batwoman, for example, she's a lesbian, but she's a good character who happens to be lesbian. It's not like she's a lesbian who happens to be Batwoman. That's how it works. Give us a good character. We don't care about the sex, sexuality, skin color, or anything like that, as long as they are good characters. I'm going to have to look it up because I have no idea. I know, Alfamo. But there it is, folks. That's the DC stuff. DC, Dead Company, DCU, Dead Before Arrival at this point. There might be some gems. When I say gems, I mean like enjoyable takes on some characters within the universe, but for the most part, no, it's pretty much dead on arrival. It's in my opinion, pretty much dead on arrival. So let's end this. So I'm not talking for very long, and I have time to have a little bit of a break, grab a quick banana or something before going on Twitch. Yeah, just buy older. Let's buy older issues at this point. Half Price Books, I know, has old issues. I'm sure you can find some hole in the wall comic stores that carry old issues, things like that. Support those, like local establishments. Just do that. Just do that. I keep solo streams kind of short, so because I'm talking by myself. And I started later than I normally would have. So, but here it is, folks. Sarah Michelle Gellar has been in Hollywood too long and drunk the Kool-Aid for too much. Sarah Michelle Gellar claims female-led Marvel films face heavy criticism because audiences only want male superheroes. Says the woman who was Buffy the Vampire Slayer for several seasons. And was one of the biggest hits for Fox. Says the woman. She has a job, technically, Trey. She has a job because she's headlining a streaming series called Wolfpack, which has middling reviews, from what I could tell. Which has middling reviews. I haven't watched it, but she does have a job, technically, but she's been drinking the Kool-Aid her husband's been giving her far too fucking long. How Freddie Prinze Jr. ended up with Sarah Michelle Gellar, I have no idea. Because he is... I'm looking at that guy and his personality, and I'm like, how did you land Sarah Michelle Gellar? But he did. He's the biggest soy boy there is. And this is coming from, like I said, the same actress who played Buffy the Vampire Slayer for several seasons. One of the biggest hits for Fox. One of the biggest shows watched for Fox when it was on. Female-led series. A female hero. Because she's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she's saying this shit. How about maybe it's not because audiences only want male superheroes? It's maybe the fact that, I don't know, Marvel's run by idiots who can't figure out how to, accurately portray female heroes on screen without making them into Karens or bitches or worse. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we're tuning out Marvel, is because they're screwing over their female characters as well. and they're not the characters that we know. I'm just saying, yeah, and other great female heroes. Yeah. Other great female heroes. For a while, Xander and Giles were the only male characters amongst the core group. They're the only male characters amongst the core group. Not exactly diverse, is it? Anyway, in the latest instance of a celebrity blaming fans for the failings of a multi-million-dollar entertainment franchise, rather than giving even the slightest consideration to the fact that the studios themselves may be responsible for their own problems, actress Sarah Michelle Gellar has claimed that the heavy criticism leveled at female-led Marvel projects stems not from issues with their quality, but rather audiences' own inability to accept non-male superheroes. Again, if they were to accurately and faithfully portray these female heroes on the screen, they would be making bank. Instead, they want to turn them into Karens or bitches. They want to cuck the males to elevate the females, and that's not how it works. Yeah, males pretending to be women can't write women. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer star offered her opinion on the topic of gendered superhero criticism during a recent interview given to UK news outlet The Guardian, given in promotion of her new supernatural young adult drama television series Wolfpack, which is, from what I can tell, receiving middling reviews. At one point, reflecting on her time as the titular Slayer, Gellar opined that scheduling conflicts with her role as a series lead led her to turn down a number of potential roles in films that would go on to great success, such as Fight Club or Gangs of New York. She was both proud to have made a great television show. So, okay, as much as I liked Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I don't think she had the caliber for either Fight Club or Gangs of New York. I'm just saying. I don't think she was of that caliber. Nothing against her, but I'm looking at those films, and no, Helena Bonham Carter was the correct choice, and Cameron Diaz overall, maybe not the best choice, but better than Sarah Michelle Gellar. Wouldn't have worked. Would not have worked, in my opinion. My mom was a single mother working just above the poverty line, and I got to travel the world to see and do things that would never have been afforded to me, said the actress before admitting that despite the temporary career burnout it caused her in recent years, from which she is just now returning, I love what I do, which is work, work, work. Speaking to her own career success and how it stemmed from her performances in such horror and horror-adjacent hits as not only Buffy, but also I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cruel Intentions, and the live-action Scooby-Doo duology, Gellar then posited that genre is where women can really succeed and hold an audience. Does she know the meaning of genre? Yes, people were wanting a Black Widow, well, at least a movie throughout the entire MCU, and they finally get one, but it's after her character has bit the dust. So we know what her ending is going to be. So what's the point of watching it when you know where the timeline's going to go? Like, does she know the meaning of the word genre? Yeah, she's opening her stupid mouth too. She's a virtue. I know she's just virtue signaling, but at least sound smart about it. Or at least sound like you know what you're talking about. That is, however, save for films in the superhero genre, which the actors argue would be unfairly excoriated if they focus on a female hero. Elektra, if done right, would have made bank, and they screwed up the studio screwed up the character Elektra because she had her own film. People forget about that. Elektra had her own film, but they screwed up the character. They screwed up the character. The studio did, not the audience. Because if the movie had been good, the audience would have gone to see it repeatedly. Turning her attentions to the current kingpin of spandex tights heavy films, Gellar lamented, every time a Marvel movie tries to do a female cast, it just gets torn apart. Because, again, they put politics over a fucking story, and we get super Karens. It's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it amounts to. Remember in Endgame where all those female heroes, all their biological clocks fucking synced? They have that girl power scene. That was the stupidest shit I'd ever seen. It would have been even more. It would have been just as stupid if all the male heroes did it, because you're looking at this scenario going, how the fuck are you all going to team up? Because you don't know each other. And you were standing there like you've been fighting for years together, but you have no idea who the fuck anyone is. Wouldn't have worked either way. Would not have worked it either way. But they had to do a girl power scene, which made it even stupider. Yeah, it was still fun to watch. But I'm saying it's like, if they did the character properly, it's the studio doing this shit. It's not the audience reactions to it. It's not the fact that it's like a female-led film. The studio fucking screwed over the character. And Charlie's Angels, people love Charlie's Angels, all female. Even the movies, even the reboot movies with Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu, people like them. It's nothing to do with the gender of the characters. It has everything to do with the writing of the characters. And if the writing sucks, people are going to tear it apart. But again, Sarah Michelle Gellar has to open her Hollywood trap and do this shit. Jennifer Garner wasn't the right choice. I'm not. Maybe she could have been. I'm saying like maybe she could have been with the proper writing, but at the same time, it's like again, it was the studio's fault. It was primarily the studio's fault. Unfortunately, audiences weren't as accepting, claimed the actress. There's still this mentality of the male superhero, this very backwards way of thinking. It should be noted that in reality, as mentioned above, the issues fans took with Marvel's female-led endeavors had nothing to do with the gender of its leads, but rather the quality of their stories and cinematography. For example, the typically raised smoking gun example of fans' supposed anti-female fervor, Captain Marvel, is generally accepted by its critics to be fine, if not standard superhero origin tale. She had plot armor galore in that film. Instead, fans were put off by the fact that not only was Marvel trying to force audiences to treat Carol Danvers with the same reverence as such comic book icons as Captain America or Spider-Man, characters that have had multiple films to build up their arcs. That's why the audiences grew to love them. They had multiple films, and you want the audiences to do it with just one fucking film with this bitch. But that its lead actors responded to critics of the cynical attempt at artificial relevance by pompously writing them off as biggest. Yeah, resting bitch face Danvers here. I remember when all that fucking shit went down, and she was a criminal in one scene. She was a criminal. She broke a guy's hand, a guy who had the audacity to try flirting with her, even cringely, but flirting with her. She broke his hand and stole his bike. That's a criminal behavior. It's not superhero behavior. It's criminal behavior. She also stole clothes off a mannequin from a store. She didn't pay for them. She stole that shit. But we're supposed to laud her as a hero? Yeah, rip-off Terminator scene. It was. It was a rip-off Terminator scene. It literally was. Justice for the Dawn, yeah. The Dawn did nothing wrong, yes. Then there's Black Widow, a film which most audiences had been clamoring for ever since her proper superhero debut in the first Avengers film. Well, technically her debut was the first Avengers film before Iron Man 2. Was the first Avengers film before Iron Man 2? Because she was in that. I can't remember. Because she was in Iron Man 2, and if that was before Avengers, then her debut was in Iron Man 2, not Avengers. No, it was after Iron Man 2. Okay, I was going to say that she was in Iron Man 2. Maybe not properly as Black Widow, but she was in Iron Man 2, so that was her debut, not Avengers. All right, I remembered. I may have checked out of Marvel, but I remembered. Okay. This outlook towards a Natasha solo adventure only soured when the film finally came to fruition and was found to be filled with backstory ruining quips. Why does Yelena treat the forced hysterectomies forced upon Red Room recruits with such levity when her sister could barely bring herself to talk about it with Bruce in Age of Ultron and embarrassingly poor CGI? Yeah, and they made Taskmaster a female. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, no, she was in Iron Man 2. I remembered that because she comes into the boxing ring at one point and lays out Happy, And Tony's like, I want one. I remember that joke. And then like she had a hallway scene. Fucking hell, I'm remembering it. She had a hallway scene in Iron Man 2. Remember that? That was as Black Widow. Yeah, I'm saying that was as Black Widow. She beat the fuck out of him. That was the whole joke. Audiences rejected the film not because it focused on women, but because after years of anticipation, what they got was perhaps the laziest and most Marvel Studios movie of the entire franchise. I didn't bother seeing it. I got the gist. I got the spoilers, and I was like, this sounds so fucking stupid. Yeah, I'm saying hallway scene. Hallway scene. I know it's a meme at this point, but she got a hallway scene in 2010. That same strain of bait and switch inspired frustration also serves to explain why audiences who for so long had hoped to see the former Sorcerer Supreme as used to his full visual and horror potential as a magic-based character had no love for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. After leaving fans abuzz with what many have argued are both the best MCU climaxes and post-credit teases in the Good Doctor's first solo outing, Marvel decided to do a full 180 and use his sequel to offer some sort of vindication to Wanda Maximoff's post-WandaVision heel turn. That fans also only disliked the film and did not at this point immediately and entirely abandon the franchise has nothing short of a miracle. And they also brought in John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic for Fantastic Four to introduce that, and they kill him off right off the fucking bat. Bring in a one of those fan-casted roles. People who wanted to see John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, they brought him in and killed him off in one go. Oh, there you go. Yep. Yeah, there's a Triple X version. There is a Triple X version. Axel Braun did it. Triple X. Actually, badass, yeah. Made the actress who played Taskmaster look like trash with a male body, female head. Yeah, because you could tell the body was male. So when the rumors started happening that Taskmaster was female, I was looking at the shots of Taskmaster and I'm going, the hips don't lie. That's a male body. And then we find out that they basically just CGI'd the actress's head onto the male stuntman's body. It was so fucking stupid. Of course, all of this is to say nothing of David Cohen's abominable Thor: Love and Thunder, a film so awful that even show websites and casual audiences found themselves unable to defend it. Fans didn't take issue with the female character taking center stage, but rather the fact that they went about it by bastardizing an iconic, beloved, and already established, and once again character in Thor, and once again demanding that audiences accept them as the equally laudable character without any build-up whatsoever. Last time we saw Jane, she was, I don't know, she had one of the Infinity Stones in her, was the Ether Stone or something like that, and she's being saved in Thor: Dark World. That's like the last time I remember seeing her. And now all of a sudden she's gotten the power of Odinson. Riddle me that. How the fuck? If Marvel had instead focused on the film on an original character, they say Thor girl, and showed her facing trials and tribulations alongside the God of Thunder as she worked to be worthy successor rather than being heralded as the best Thor ever, on the grounds of little more than existing as a woman, it's easy to imagine that audiences wouldn't have reacted so viscerally to this train wreck. You remember this? Where Thor has like that, that cuck look on his face like, Jane? Infinity Cones was the death knell for that movie, yeah. Thor 18, that's 2013, yeah. So now it's like you fast forward about 10 years, and she all of a sudden has the power. What? The first season of Wolfpack is currently airing on Paramount Plus. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. Hollywood, been in Hollywood too long, bitch. You drank the Kool-Aid. Kept drinking the Kool-Aid, and look at this. This is what happens when you drink the Kool-Aid. You go full retard, pretty much. And we're saying this shit. Again, same stupid shits. different year, different day. It is what it is, pretty much. Wanted to kill Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, and Professor X, three of the smartest, most powerful members of the Marvel Universe, but I had a hard time with Captain Britain and Monica Rambeau. Well, now I'm really glad I didn't see that fucking movie. Holy shit! Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, which I don't know too much about, but Mr. Fantastic and Professor X? Professor X, who... Oh my god. This is why I checked out well before the end of Phase 3. This is why I checked out well before the end of Phase 3. This is so fucking stupid. Lady Sif is actually a cool character, and she got sidelined. You know what? Fuck it. You know what? I would watch the movie if instead of a psychic battle, it was a rap battle. At this point, that's less stupid than this shit. Bring those two characters back and have them rap battle each other. He was brought back just to fucking die again. Now I'm really glad I didn't bother watching. I'm actually really glad I didn't even bother sailing the high seas for that shit. But anyway, we're close to the hour mark. I thought this would be a little bit shorter than my normal stream, but we're close to the hour mark. So I gotta at least have a little bit of time to grab a banana or something, so I have some food in my stomach. Pretty much. When X-Men 3 is better, yes, yeesh. He would win the raps as well, yeah. But anyway, there it is, folks. There it is. So, thank you for hanging out with me for what's going to be hopefully normal day, like Friday solo live streams in the afternoon. I'm gonna try to be a bit earlier next week. Like I said, didn't anticipate having to go to like 4 places today for errands, but I need a little bit of time to get some food in me, and then jump onto Twitch. I'm just gonna jump onto some Call of Duty multiplayer, just because it's easy to jump on that and then jump off. So pretty much that's what she said. That's what she said. But that's what I'm gonna do. So give me about 15 minutes or so. I'm gonna jump on Twitch. This is my Twitch right here. So come check that out if you are so inclined. Like I said, I'll be playing some Call of Duty. And thank you again. Yeah, did it better. Yeah. But anyway, thank you all again for hanging out with me. This will be a mainstay, pretty much early afternoon YouTube live stream, solo live stream, and then jumping on to Twitch Fridays from here on out. And I'm waiting to hear back from Steph, but it looks like Talk Nerdy to Us is going to be on my channel tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, because I'm not able to be there the following weekend. So I'm going to see what she says, but it looks like it's going to be on my channel tomorrow. So yeah, come hang out in about 15 minutes or so, and I'm going to have Sabaton Orchestral playing in the background, which will make it even more fucking epic. So thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and I will see you all later. Take care, and peace out.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.